I call this meeting to order. Amanda, do you read the roll?
Absolutely. Glenn Matthew.
Present.
Joyce Anderson. Here. Sue Kenny. Here. Bonnie Lindbad. Petey Strang.
Here.
Vicki Cantrell.
Here.
Jim Stevens.
Present.
Barbara Wall. You have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do we have any old business? Alrighty. Do I need to parliamentary? You know that stuff too. Do I need to do anything on that?
You can just move into new business.
Okay, we'll move into the new business. You have before you the our memorandum that they present for the assembly tonight. I'll take a minute. Have you all read it over?
I have a question. The newspaper said something about 38 votes. Can someone explain that, where they came from?
I would be happy to do that. So at the beginning of the review of the ballots on Friday, the ballots that were presented to the facsimile board did not have the area-wide stamp, and there was a slight amount of confusion as to whether those should be full counts or area-wide. And so we put all of the first, I think it was about 4 precincts on hold because they didn't receive the area-wide stamp. We provided Joyce and Glenn with the area-wide stamp, and so then all the other ballots that went through had the note of the area-wide on them, and then they had been a challenge raised by both campaigns that were present, but after the final numbers came out, they didn't have a challenge for those ballots anymore, and it was okay to run them through area-wide. And we're joined by Bonnie. Bonnie Lynn.
I went downtown. Well, it's at 6th Avenue, so that's.
I know I sent out the second email where I said that
You gotta read the second one.
Right beside you is the agenda and
And you know, I realize that I'm happy with your explanation, but the reason I brought it up was because Bonnie Lynn asked me about it this morning, so she's the one that needs the explanation.
Okay. So, PD had asked about the 38 uncounted ballots as of Friday night, and what had happened was the beginning of the process on Friday morning, we did not have the area-wide stamp out, and so we weren't marking the ballots that were area-wide count only with that stamp. There was a little bit of confusion with the facsimile board as to whether they should be full count or area-wide. So we put those aside and continued on the process throughout the rest of the day, and with stamping all the area-wide stamp ballots and having them facsimile to area-wide, and then ran the results without those 38 ballots being counted. The margin on the district race was so wide that the campaigns had no concern whether to count those ballots area-wide or not. We met with the municipal attorney on Monday, Barbara and I, and went forward with counting all those 38 ballots area-wide. So we updated the results Monday afternoon around 4 p.m. And these results that you have attached to your report include those additional 38 ballots.
Okay, because we counted and counted. I forget what the
You
other.
remember on Friday morning when we stopped, you know, we stopped everything, and that was those, there was just those 38 ballots, and then when we restarted.
Yeah, okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
And Amanda, I asked you earlier, and I just said I would ask again for the commission meeting, what was the percentage of individuals who did not vote at their correct precinct or by mail or whatever? And
So the percentage of ballots that were processed by the election commission was about 3.5%. So 8,000 ballots.
how does that compare with the past 2 years?
We saw a significant increase in absentee by mail. Last year we had 1,019 voters absentee by mail, and this year we had 2310. So that was the strong push the clerk's office made this year. We encouraged people to vote in their pajamas was actually what we were saying. So you can see that there is a strong increase. We also really encourage people to vote early, which those numbers are significantly higher from last year also.
And we heard from Bonnie Jack this afternoon, and Bonnie congratulated Amanda. If you noticed, the paper reported that the voter turnout in this election, which was about 23.9%, is the highest in a non-mayoral election since 2007.
Wow,
So,
7 years.
yeah.
We knew you did an incredible job.
So, and this is, one thing that I've talked about over the last couple weeks is that we have started the conversation with the municipality to be engaged in the election process. In 2013, our goal was to learn how to run an election. We did that, and so now our goal is to engage voters into our election process. So our goal is to just keep building on that, keep getting out the vote, and really encouraging people to recognize how to have their voice heard. I think it's really interesting with Prop 3. It was a really close race. You can really see how every vote does count. So,
And I think there was, like you said, there was a 14 vote difference.
yeah, 14 vote difference on that.
And I have a question. If we get people to vote more by mail, will it be necessary to go over all the ballots like we do when we check them?
I think we'll talk about process
Okay.
as far as how we handle that in the future, and especially our conversation is potentially to go to an all by mail election in the future and how our process would change if we did that.
Okay.
So.
Any other questions or comments about our
About
memorandum?
the specific report, could you answer the question of what it means, times counted, so that's just get your head.
I had a conversation about that last year, and I don't remember off the top of my head, but I can get back to you on that one.
I heard it once, but I can't remember.
And I also wondered if we'd speak later about the identification on the absentee by mail. We don't have to do it now, but I mean,
Yeah,
we
unless
haven't.
specific envelopes about changing that. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
And Madam Chair, aren't we thinking of having a May recap meeting while it's still all fresh in our minds?
That's what you had mentioned, correct? Do
I
you
think
have a
that's a
date?
great idea.
Do you have a
I
date on that?
don't have a date. Would you like us to, you can decide now, or we can send out an email soliciting people's schedules? It's up to
Have your
you.
schedule to look?
Well, I think it might be easier if anyone knows for sure they're going to be gone a particular time in May, then maybe we should write that down.
I will be gone until May 7th. I will return on May 7th.
You're returning on May 7th.
Correct.
I should be back May 11th.
Okay.
I'm heading out probably the last week of May.
You're coming back on May 7th.
11th.
11th. Yours was the 7th. I got it.
Mine was the 7th.
Okay. And Gwen was the end of May, like the last week of May.
Would May 15th, it's a Thursday, work for everybody?
Certainly
Depends
works.
on what time.
What time would you like?
All day on that.
Well, I'm gonna be working at the golf course again, I'll probably be the starter, so I'll work early until I probably get off at 1 or 2, so mornings are out for me. I'm not that to do it.
What day was that, the 15th you said?
Thursday,
Amanda?
Thursday the 15th.
That afternoon's great for me.
That sounds good for me.
Good for me.
It's almost easier to pick it while we're out here
Yeah.
and then try to go through
Do you
emails.
want to
So-
say 3 or in the afternoon?
What about you?
I don't have a problem, so I guess, Jim, it would depend on how much time you feel you want to have between the two, and we'll work around, we can work
No,
around
that's
that.
fine. And knowing far enough in advance, if they want to put me in the afternoon, I'll just say I can't work it.
Okay.
Do you have a better time than others for because your office, are you going to be busy or?
Probably not. So I'll just make sure that I'm available. So it's 3 o'clock on the 15th?
I would prefer 2 o'clock if that's possible.
3 p.m., good?
2. When I say
I
2.
think 2 or 4 might be good. I expect it's going to take you more than just an hour.
Well, Jim, you get off at 1, right?
Yeah, I'm not positive. but,
Okay. Well, what about 2:30 then, to give you a chance to have?
That's fine.
That's
Just
fine?
just
Okay.
say
All
four,
right.
that's fine.
2 o'clock?
Okay. And where are we meeting?
I'll send out
Now, do you want our parking things and all?
Yes,
all
I'll
that
need
stuff
those
back?
now as well.
guess,
Don't need to stick them in the bag.
Would it be helpful, and is it possible for any, I know Bonnie said she had some questions, is it possible that anybody that has any concerns could send them in to you?
Yeah,
And then we
absolutely.
could put them on the agenda?
Absolutely.
And then, that way we would have an idea of what's going to be, might be some topic of discussion. Okay, so if anybody has any concerns,
that'd be more efficient.
send them in to Amanda, and, okay?
That's really a good idea, Joyce, because, we can, if we need legal advice, we can get that ahead of time, so that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that would be great. That sort of sets the stage for at least some of the discussion versus what might come up at the meeting based on another discussion or whatever.
Okay, back to the business at hand. Any other questions or comments before we adopt our review?
Really easy one. Why do we have 124 precincts?
There's 122 precincts, and then there's one precinct for question voters and one precinct for absentee voters.
And Madam Chair, I think we probably need a motion to approve the report. Okay.
I hate to bring it up, but on that, is the whole city going to receive this report? Everything on there? The back pages or just the front page?
They receive everything.
Okay. What if somebody on the assembly asks what this Times County is? And
Then we can.
as commission members, I don't feel comfortable saying.
All those
that's part of
questions
the-
would be directed to me anyways.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
No, that's a good question, and I, as a lawyer, that is the best advice I could give my client, and I'm sure Todd would agree. If you don't know the answer, say you don't know, right? There's nothing worse than having a client say something that they think they know that they really don't. So we are more than okay with saying, and you probably heard Amanda and I say, I don't know.
I'm just saying, if this is our report and we wrote it, then
So your report is the
front page.
the first three
Okay,
pages,
all right,
and then
that's
the
what I
is
did.
attached to the official election.
Okay, thank you. That clarifies it for me.
And you sign the first 3 pages,
Right.
which is your part of the report, which is attached to the election.
Okay.
And
thank
Joyce
you.
and I reviewed the numbers, and that's what we did as well.
Barbara, are we supposed to know who that is? I don't know who that
So
is.
sorry, I thought
I
that you
don't-
had introductions before I got here.
What you did.
Todd Sherwood is here representing the municipal attorney's office.
I see. Okay.
Dennis wasn't able to make it, so I apologize for not introducing Todd before.
Okay.
All right?
Hello.
And I think he heard me talking all about you, so I think he has a pretty good idea of who you are.
Oh, and Bonnie, got your little corsage, okay.
Yeah.
All righty, do I hear a motion?
I move that we accept this and present this report tonight at the assembly.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we accept this report. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
What do we sign?
I bet we have
I have
a
the
special
official
one.
I was going to say, I vote all the
So then, we'll just go through the rest of the agenda before we
Okay.
adopt that.
Okay. Member comments?
Well, Madam Chair, I'd like to comment that I feel that I echo what Barbara has said about Amanda, and I think she's very professional, very on top of things, and definitely put on an excellent election, and didn't have the answer, like Barbara said, went and found out what it is. So I would just like to echo what Barbara said, that I feel that the city of Anchorage has a very excellent, I hate the word deputy clerk, but deputy clerk elections.
I really appreciate that.
Here, here.
Here, here.
And also, we're fortunate to have Barbara, both of the team. And it was nice having you both at the county.
Yes.
Yes. And I think you're miracle workers. I've worked here before, and there was not, things were not specific. You have done a great job on codes, on the procedures. Many kudos to you.
Amen.
Yeah, it was nice to see your participation.
And I would like to say that I think hiring Bonnie Jack was a stroke of genius. Because she was our gopher, And she would, I mean, if we needed a paperclip, she was right on the job. So I do think that was a wise thing, because I remember a year ago, every time we needed a paperclip, we were calling Amanda.
Right, right.
And she was
Away
coming,
from
having
her-
to stop whatever she
her
was doing to
official
bring
duty.
us what we needed. So I think our having a gopher was a very good idea.
And that was part of the code we had talked about, having election officials assisting the commission, just so you had somebody in there. I thought Bonnie Jack would be perfect for it.
It was a
Next year, we'll
good
look
job
forward
for
to a
her.
big printer.
I think I've already asked Tina to get started on that, so there
Right.
should be a new printer there next year.
Okay, any other comments?
I do have one other comment. I guess I would just like to say that I think that the Election Commission worked well as a team together, and I think we all interacted well with each other, and I think that the makeup of the Election Commission, this is my first full year. Last year I was kind of in and out because I wasn't well, but I'd like to say that we worked well together, so I just want to thank everyone for working as a team, whether two people, two-person team, or the whole group as a team, or whatever.
I also want to make a comment that how much I appreciate each and every one of you. You are worthy committee members. I appreciate you. We couldn't have done it, as Joyce said, without us all working together.
And thank you for raising your hand for the third year in a row.
Yes.
How true.
And one thing I noticed is if something had to be done, it didn't matter who was closest, they did it and got it done. They were very supportive of each other.
I saw a lot more initiative this year than I've seen in the past, where just stepped in and did it. It's wonderful. Does anyone else have any comments?
You know, I look forward to the answer about that memo I sent to you and Joyce early on. There's no hurry on it, but I hope to, go follow that through.
Well,
Eventually.
let me ask, is there someone who spot checks on election night the results? The dissolving of the board that the computer in? Is there someone that does that?
I will leave that up to Amanda to answer. We've talked about it. So I'm just not sure I understand. There's a memo that, have we seen the memo? Oh,
No.
okay. All right.
And I think maybe this is better for our recap
Oh,
meeting.
okay.
Do you agree with that, Vicki? Or?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not, I just eventually, it's on my agenda rather than.
Okay, well, we can certainly add that to the agenda for the May meeting.
And I have copies for the clerk and the deputy, but I kept them because I thought I would follow the procedures that the clerk wrote. Remember, they're nicely
Got
done.
it. Thank you.
So I would suggest maybe you forward that to them so that we can put that on the agenda. What do you agree?
I agree.
Forward it to,
Barbara and Amanda.
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Any other comments? And I open it up to audience participation. We have an audience of one. Do you have comment?
No comment.
Are we finished? Motion.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
It has been motioned and second that we adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.